It's been about 2 months. Maybe is it 2 months and 2 weeks, maybe somewhere around there. But I didn't do anything for the first 2 weeks, so I'm going to just say 2 months.
Okay.
And with cash and accounts receivable, and these are valid accounts receivable, I've made almost $27,000.
Wow. Hey there, welcome to this Fearless Coach Academy case study interview with one of my favorite coaches that I've been working with, Don Michaels. I'm so glad that you are spending time with us today because you have had some tremendous results very, very quickly. So I just want to take a moment for you to introduce yourself. Just share with the person watching this who you are, kind of the niche of your coaching, what you help people with.
Okay, my name is Dawn Michaels. I am a law of attraction transformation coach, and I have been a coach for 19 years. And I help people manifest their best life.
Love it. Love it. And I think something that's needed now more than ever, given everything going on in the world.
I agree.
Yeah. And for the person watching this, I know a lot of coaches have this preconceived notion, Don, that when they get into coaching, the only way that you can be successful is if you do business coaching or if you sell money. Helping people manifest their best life seems intangible to some people, but clearly you've been doing it for a long time. So for you watching this, I want you to listen to our conversation through that lens, knowing that when you commit to mastery, when you really become a student of marketing and sales and systems, and also just pour your heart into coaching over time, you can be successful as long as you do the work, no matter what your niche is.
I totally agree with that. And I really think that the world needs more spiritual coaches. And I think the work that I do is just as valuable as helping somebody earn more income. I really believe that to be true.
Yeah, if not more valuable, I would actually have you consider.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, because money is important, right? It's how we pay our bills. But at the end of the day, if we are successful financially, but we're lacking fulfillment or happiness or joy, well, that doesn't seem like a happy life to me, And
no,
so
it's not.
I just
and when we shoot for money instead of what our real higher self's priorities are, I'm sorry, somebody just knocked my desk.
That's okay, no worries.
A little fur baby.
That's okay, totally fine. You're good.
Anyway, I just, when we get ourselves happier and more peaceful, it's easier for us to make more money.
Yeah, totally true. Oh gosh, I can relate to that for sure. Creating from a place of scarcity or anxiety is not a good place to create from. So, well, let's dive in. I want to really talk about your journey today. So I want to start with where you were and where your business was before we started coaching. So when you think back to, not too long ago, where was your, in terms of clients you were working with, income that was being generated, leads? Talk to us about that.
Well, I have been blessed that my coaching has provided for my family sufficiently over the years. Starting at the end of 2019, my marketing that I was doing was really no longer working, and I really wanted to up-level my income. It was time. I wanted more for my family, and that meant I needed something to shift. And I was shopping for a business coach. And at the time I was shopping for you, I had actually stopped marketing because I was actually writing a new program to market. And I had no income for 2 months while I made that new product. And then I found you, and right as I found you, I was reading all about you and feeling my way through that. But at the same time, I started running Facebook ads, and that proved to be a really great plan of mine. But I couldn't pull all the pieces together. I knew that this piece was working, this piece was working, this piece was working, but I, for the life of me, could not get a big picture viewpoint. I really didn't know what my next step should be, even though I've been marketing this all these years. I was kind of moving into new territory and I wanted to up level. I didn't want to just do more of what I had done before. And so when I started working with you, and I'm just going to jump right in, when I started working with you, you understood where I was starting. I wasn't a newbie at marketing. I've been marketing a long time. But I also didn't think I was very good at it. And I still don't, but I'm learning. But you actually gave me one piece of advice. And that one piece of advice changed my life. And it wasn't just a piece of advice. It wasn't just a sentence, but it was, Dawn, do this. I want you to do this. Let's see what happens. And I was actually kind of resistant to do this because it didn't feel like it was what I really wanted to do. But I trusted you and I did it. And it was the best decision I've made in years. Oh. The first best decision I made was choosing you. And the second best decision I made was following your advice in this particular realm, because I really felt like it was off what I wanted to do.
Thank you.
And the end result of me taking your advice was that over the last approximate, okay.
For a moment, because I know we want to jump into that right away.
Oh, I'm excited.
No, I know you're so excited, but I want to stay in that stage of like just when we started, because
sure.
You were shopping around, right? You were looking for support. You identified that even though you had plenty of experience marketing, you found that you didn't have the holistic view, you didn't have the clear picture. There's probably some frustration, some overwhelm there. When we were talking, or when you were talking to other coaches, was there any resistance, fear, anything associated with hiring a business coach at this stage of your business?
Yeah, I'm kind of older, and I've been marketing and coaching for a long, long time. I'm a little burnt out and not all that tech savvy. So what I was really looking for was somebody who would do it for me. And instead, I got somebody who to teach me how to do it. And that was not what I wanted. But I kind of listened to my higher self, and I jumped in, and I can see why my higher self was leading me to you.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I'm a big believer, and you know this because we talked about this, and teaching students how to fish instead of fishing for them. Yes. It's great to have a team that can, run Facebook ads for you, but if you don't understand the strategy behind it, then you're kind of dependent on that team. And when you want to part from that team, it's like, oh my gosh, there goes all my traffic, or there goes all my leads. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you were open to that perspective and that suggestion, and obviously committed to do the work, because that required a lot more work on your end. Right?
It did work, and it was between the added work of going through your program and the added work of all this new business I've had. I've been a little bit on overwhelm, but it is a fantastic problem to have.
Beautiful. Okay, that's good. That's a good problem for sure. So before we talk about the tangible results, what was the one or two things that you learned? And we don't need to go into describing exactly the how, right? That's reserved for obviously our students. But what was some of the things that you learned that you applied that actually produced the result that you're about to share?
I actually wonder if you should be interviewing me at this point, because I feel like I haven't had a chance to open up this huge box of tools that you give in the academy. I have only had a chance to work with maybe 3 out of, I don't know, 100 different pieces of advice, maybe more in that program. I don't even know how many. I haven't gone through it yet. But the pieces that I held on to and worked with have kept me busy. And did I answer your question?
Yeah. So one was like, you found there was a couple of them, right? There was 1 or 2 that you implemented. That there's a lot more obviously in there. And
yeah.
At times it feels like you could be drinking from a fire hose because there's so many strategies. But in terms of the one that you learned, what was the, I guess, how, is there a way of describing what you learned in a way where it was like a tangible strategy that really helped you generate more leads or get more clients?
Well, I guess, I felt like I had emailed my list to death. And I thought that they were just kind of dead and snoring and sleepy, and, you know, maybe they were bum email addresses at this point. I didn't know, but nothing was waking up my list. And you gave me an email to wake up my list, and boy, did they frickin' wake up. I was swamped. I was swamped 6 days a week. I didn't have any openings in my calendar whatsoever.
Okay,
and those were all, you know, what I call free consultation calls.
Okay, perfect. So you learned a message from us, a template that we send right to an email list.
Yes.
For people to respond, to engage, and to eventually join a conversation with you about coaching, right?
Yes.
And that's a big one. So the person watching this, I don't want you to take that away, because you may be in a similar position where you've been coaching for many years like Dawn, and you've built an audience and you've built an email list, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I need to go generate more leads, when the most important thing to focus on is the audience that you've been nurturing for years. And Dawn, you've created so much content for them for free. And yes, you've offered courses and you've offered coaching from that time to time, but you've given, which is important, but there wasn't a really clear way of asking in return. And I think that's what you really learned, was like that message of how to position the ask to help them even further.
It wasn't just the email though. It was, and I can, honestly, after, I don't know how many free consultation calls I've given in 19 years, I'm sure that it's at least 1,000. I don't even know, but you gave me a structure on how to do those calls. And I didn't take every piece of advice you gave me, because some of it was taking too long and I had a lot of people to get through. Mm-hmm. But I took away from it the general attitude, the general overview of how to really give these people what they need and have them asking for more.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. So learning that kind of enrollment process. So
yes.
We won't tease the viewer anymore. Let's talk about the results. So what were some of the results that you got from implementing these strategies you learned?
The results that I got was not one empty spot in my calendar. As a matter of fact, I ended up opening my lunch hour. I started appointments an hour earlier and went an hour later. I was working Saturdays, which I don't like to do. But you know, when people are kind of clamoring to work with you, you make yourself available. And it was probably the last 2 months have been the most powerful for me income-wise ever.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
What is that like? Is there a way to be tangible or measure that in a way of like thinking about the number of clients that you've enrolled or the income that was generated? Do you have an idea of
yeah, and I have it here, and I got to find my notes because I did the math. So it's been about 2 months, maybe. Is it two months and 2 weeks, maybe somewhere around there, but I didn't do anything for the first 2 weeks. So I'm going to just say 2 months. Okay. And with cash and accounts receivable, and these are valid accounts receivable, I've made almost $27,000.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So so almost 27,000 in just
2 months.
Is that right?
Yes.
And that's also in just implemented, it sounds like just kind of one or two of the strategies, because you've had a lot of other stuff.
I would say, yeah, 2, maybe 3 strategies out of, I mean, honestly, I didn't even get a chance to continue exploring the academy because I got overwhelmed. I'm looking forward to creating some plateau so I can go back and see what other little golden nuggets you have in there. So
awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, for you watching this, I want you to learn that if you have an audience that you've built and you've worked tirelessly to support and to build value for, there's a couple tweaks that we can make to actually engage that audience. And so, yeah, so really, really important. And I love, Dawn, that you trusted me in that and you implemented that, because like you said, you had a different idea, right, of how you wanted to do it. And you were open, you trusted the process. And then obviously now we're at a place where we're trying to create more leverage for you, where there's less of the time on your end. So
yes, and we'll move into that. But for right now, I'm really just, you know, I don't think I'm ready to give up what I'm doing now because it's so successful. Yeah. But yes, eventually I want to move to less of my time being involved.
Awesome. Okay. Well, you've been in the coaching industry for a long time. You've known a lot of coaches, I would imagine, like I do. Who would you recommend this program to? After being in Fearless Coach Academy for a couple months, who do you think would get value from this?
Anybody who's willing to do the work. And anybody who has even the slightest bit of tech knowledge. I wasn't born into the computer era, so sometimes I feel a little like a dinosaur when it comes to tech, but I got this. It's not that big a deal. So I think anybody who can confront technology and is ready to roll up their sleeves. I've listened to some of the other coaches that you're coaching. It seems like it's good for anybody who's really ready to up-level their business.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It definitely requires somebody to have a growth mindset. Somebody who may come to the program saying, listen, I don't understand technology that well. However, I'm willing to be growth minded and learn, and do the work, because this isn't a magic pill, just like your coaching, right? There's work that can be done there, internally and externally. And if somebody's unwilling to do that, I think it's, I think it's the coaching industry, and you've seen it more than I have. I've been in it for about 10 years. And I've just seen it morph and get into bigger and bigger promises with less and less effort or less and less work. And it's almost like we're setting coaches up to fail because we're having them expect that they can just push a button and magically their business is going to become an empire.
We have that in common, people who have, touched on the law of attraction. They think that it's a magic pill. They think that they can manifest quickly, and they're missing some of the deeper truths. They're missing some of the systems and structures and understanding. So, I think that's what coaches do. We help simplify, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. Beautiful. Well, for the person watching this who knows that they want support, but has maybe some fear or some resistance around making an investment and hiring a business coach, what would you say to them?
Well, I understand that resistance. It's not easy to write a big check or whatever, but it's all about return on investment. And if my return on investment is through the roof, I'll give money all day long if I get this kind of return on investment. I'm beyond grateful to you.
Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for your time. Where should people go if they want to learn more about your work and your coaching?
DawnMichaels.com.
Perfect. DawnMichaels.com. So I'll make sure to put that below the video. And if you watching this want support from us on growing your coaching business at all, I'd be happy to offer a complimentary business breakthrough call, a call where, we'd hop on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes with me or my team. We'd look at your niche, your price point, your offer, just like Dawn and I did. We'd see what's possible. We'd map out a game plan, all that stuff, and it'd be totally free. So if you want to explore a conversation, then just go to either click the button below this video somewhere, wherever it's hosted, or go to earn100kcoaching.com. You can fill out a short application and book a call with me. So Dawn, thank you again for trusting me. Thank you for being quick to implement. And thank you for really being dedicated to coaching in the ways that you have been, because I've seen a lot of coaches in this space and I've seen them start and then a year or two in, they quit. And it breaks my heart. And to know that you've been doing it for this long and you're continuing to do it just really is awesome. And I think it's a ripple effect that's happening across humanity that you're creating through your clients, through their families, through their communities that you may not even have the pleasure of seeing visually. So I just want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm hoping that you will interview me again 6 months down the road and let's chat again. Let's see where I'm at.
Totally will. Absolutely. All right. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.